Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this second Saturday of the month, which means that we pull Ron Wong out of bed early. And
yes.
John Gordon's
morning.
already been up a long time. I know that. Good morning, Ron. Good morning, John. And I know we didn't have to say a whole lot when Jay Ellis gets on a roll, but in Salem, Oregon at 4:15 in the morning. But really glad to have a friend on right now. And I know that Steve McCadams, you've been guiding for a long time. We talk about that and everything. I was hopeful of getting an update on our good friend. I know really your good friend. I got to get you and Jim Perry on at the same time, and y'all can swap derogatory remarks about each other.
That could be detrimental to your ratings.
Oh, I don't know. The 10-second button would not be burnt out, but
it takes Perry 2 hours to watch 60 Minutes.
Now watch it. Oh man, did you get that? Did you get that, John?
That's funny.
Hear that go?
God.
Yeah, but
No.
but we're still in prayer for Michael Perry as he deals with that serious injury from deer hunting last fall, and he's a fighter. He's a battler. But Jim said, let's wait a little while, and we'll talk with Jim and Mike about a lot of this. But Steve, I know this has been an unusual year. Your fish at Rodeo, which would have been what this year? Would have been its what?
We usually try to do the first week of June and coincide with Free Fishing Day. Sometimes we've done it the second Saturday,
but you've done it for how long?
First Saturday, and of course we had to postpone.
How long? How long have you been doing that?
This would have been the 20th year.
That's what I thought. The 20th anniversary of, and you called that event what? What's the name of it?
We call it Casting for a Cure.
Yeah, Casting for a Cure, because
Yep.
Steve's a cancer survivor, raises a lot of awareness and money. But again, it was like 14 other rodeos that day. I think that's what it was in West Tennessee. Bit the dust because of COVID-19, and you're still trying to hopefully have that event, whether it's September or October or so. But I know it's close to your heart and a lot of other things, Steve. Talk about the unusualness of this year. I mean, have you had clients cancel out on you, or are you trying to
We've survived. I had a pretty good May and June. We finally rebounded and got back going full swing, but March and April was just awful. I mean, tourists didn't travel, out-of-state people didn't come. Travel was shut down, resorts were closed.
Yes.
And it's just a great big mess, and we couldn't do anything about it, but we just had to sit and take it. But it hurt all tourism-related businesses on the lake. And the ones who suffered the worst are your little mom-and-pop businesses, from the restaurants to the bait and tackle shops to small guys. But a lot of guys are self-employed, so it was tough on all of us. And you just couldn't look, and you couldn't look to see when it was going to be over. But by the time May got here, we had a little relief and started easing back into it. And I'd like to say fall's going to be great, but right now we're still uncertain. So much uncertainty ahead. We're doing okay, but everybody's still under the dealing with the unknown.
Yeah,
I guess you could say.
dealing with and particularly as long as you've been doing it, and I've been in this business so long.
But a little bit of good news about Kentucky Lake, Steve. There are reports of the tremendous shad spawn you all have had this spring, and they said shad are showing up around all the marinas, around any cover, but it was the best shad spawn that you guys have had in some number of years. Is that right?
That is good. That is good news. I've been putting that out for about a month now, really. I started seeing them about 3 weeks ago really strong, and generally we start seeing them a little earlier. They were about a week or two late this year. But they did come on strong, and you're right. That's good news all the way around, because that forage base will improve. Crappie, bass fishing, bluegill, everything in the reservoir will improve.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, we've had some big mayfly hatches here recently, and that's nature's
Yeah, they
buffet
say that was
kind of
strong
feeds
this year
everything.
too.
Yeah, and
So that is some good signs for us, and we needed that. Our shad population has been, in my opinion, been down a little bit. We're all concerned about the Asian carp and what effect it's had on the whole food chain, the whole scenario. But boy, seeing these fry come on this year is really, really good news. Well,
we need some good news. Again, we're talking to Steve McCadams, our good friend, longtime waterfowl and fishing guide on Kentucky Lake. Steve, I know that you follow everything waterfowl and fishing. Your thoughts on the computer drawing for the duck blinds?
Well, I knew we were going to have to make some changes this year, and I'm not surprised. A lot of people are disappointed, and the reason some of them are disappointed, it's a big fellowship.
It's
thing.
a big First
Saturday in August is a big deal
for
waterfowl hunters, and go to all these wildlife management areas and put in for the draw. And we have about 2,500 people that show up here at Big Sandy.
Yes, yeah.
And Paris has about another, I don't know, 1,000 or so maybe, but Reelfoot and everywhere has big crowds. And not only that, our Ducks Unlimited chapter, it's a good fundraiser for us because we hold a waterfowl little festival in conjunction with all that and harness the crowd, and we sell booth space, and then we do raffles for guns and things of that nature, and other little things like Little League ball teams and volunteer fire departments are helping with parking. So a lot of different nonprofits benefit off these big events each year. So that's another loss to these little small communities. And but I think the fellowship, people are going to kind of miss getting together and hoorahing as much as anything. And duck season will go on and blinds will be drawn, but it's going to be a totally different atmosphere. And I hope we get back to normal next year and just get back to having the big get-togethers and big group things like we've done for so long.
I know, John Gordon, you're listening to that. Nobody throws a party better than DU. So you guys have taken to the air for raffles, just like the TWRA is having raffles. It's the best way that you can at least continue fundraising efforts. And, John, when you hear him talk about that, your thoughts?
Yeah, Larry, it's definitely been a big hit for us this spring and summer, with all our events being shut down. And like I said, with all the other events that are people look forward to in the fall, in the summer, and just not being able to do it. So it's really put a little damper on things, but we persevered, and I think a lot of folks have. Like you said, we've got the online auctions, we've done raffles, and we're actually having an event tonight in Hernando.
Yeah, that's right.
Our chapter here, we're having a fish fry. Starts at 4:00. We were limited on tickets. It was limited to 100 people, and we sold out on that.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so we're going to have that tonight, and so that's the first event that we've been able to do around here in a while. So we're looking forward to that, and just trying to get back to normal.
And Steve, back to normal is kind of hard because you've been doing this a long time. No one ever thought we'd see this, right, Steve? I mean, this is
unprecedented. Yeah, nobody can fathom what's going to happen, and we all are optimistic. But people making long-range tourism plans and traveling plans, not only come to Kentucky Lake, but there's people that go out of the country planning long-range trips, waterfowl hunting, and big group trips, and it's tough to make those long-range plans for big group things. So it's hurting all of us indirectly, and I know people are still yearning. Fishing's a great way, and duck hunting for that matter, a great way to still practice social distancing and be in the outdoors. So our sports will continue, but it's having a negative effect. There's no doubt about it.
We'll talk about in the closing here about how's fishing been. I mean, everybody talks. It's July, buddy. It's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be hot. It's supposed to be sweaty. It is what it is. Talk about.
Our fishing, we've kind of backed up lately a little bit. Some people are getting out in the wee hours of the morning, and bass fishing actually picked up a little bit. We got some current in the lake, and guys fishing the ledge bite in open water are doing a little bit better. And Crappie fishing's been kind of sluggish, kind of backed off for us, but the bass fishing's holding up pretty good, and catfishing's been good. And anytime you get current in the reservoir this time of the year, that stimulates activity because it moves the bait fish around. And so catfishermen and the bass fishermen like to see a little bit of current out there. And with all these minnows that we were just talking about, little schools of pinna minnows around the bank and shallow weeds and stuff, it's the shallow bite's not too bad, even in the hot weather. So fishing's not all bad. You just got to pick your hours this time of the year and, you know, surrender to the heat and don't try to stay out in the middle of the day. And it's not a marathon this time of the year. And realize your limitations.
Well, we're talking to Steve McCadams, and people want to get in touch with you, Steve. I mean, you're still booking trips, folks. You want to fish with the man himself? Tell them how they can get in touch with you.
My website at stevemccadams.com. That's the best way to reach me, and email me anytime. And
you can go to lroutdoors.com. We run all of Steve's really good fishing reports and things along that line, and just look him up. Steve, thank you, buddy.
Great to be with you guys, and
hang in there.
Stay in touch.
Hang in there. Okay, man.
Better days are coming.
They are. Thank you, Steve. Okay. Steve McCadams, and I know John I don't know, probably not too many more people have killed more ducks than Steve McCadams. I mean, he's...
I agree. He's been at it a long time, Larry. I got the pleasure of hunting with him back at Reelfoot at the end of the season last year.
Did you? Good.
And and that was the first time I'd ever, I had talked to him and interviewed him before. And a lot of different things, but I never got to meet him face to face, and so that was a really fun trip.
Oh man, meeting Steve
He's
McCadams.
a good guy.
Yeah, you meet Steve McCadams face to face. Now you know what he looks like. I mean, it's been a it's been a secret for all these years, John. But I think he was one of my first waterfowl trips when I became outdoor editor at the Commercial Appeal back in '88. Was with Steve McCadams and Jim Perry. We got to get those guys on together. What a story those two guys can tell. All right, let's take a break. We're going to Springfield, Missouri. We're going to let Ron Wong take over because Ron's the lose man. He's the lose man, so to speak. And John and I can just kind of ease along here as we talk to Bob Brown on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll be right back.